Good morning. Fabulous Friday here from a very gloomy 55-degree South Central Kentucky. Yeah, we're in for rain all day today. It should start in the next 60 seconds or so. And I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I mean, you can see the storm clouds. So, how is everybody on this Friday? Been busy writing all week? I'm going to just throw out some random thoughts today. One, how do you find your ideas? The news, newspapers, things you hear, things that happen in everyday life. I'll give you an everyday life one without mentioning any names. I was teaching in rural Michigan, and there was a family, a father, mother, father, and three children, two boys and a girl. The father died. He had been um, abusive, but nothing we could put our finger on. And the father died. I don't remember what of. I just know that he died very young. And mom didn't remarry. She just moved in with another gentleman, much like her husband, um, very abusive. They belong to some militia group. Um, the women were did what they were told, or they got beaten. It was not unusual. But as far as the kids were concerned, they didn't show any signs of beating um, or neglect. So there was really nothing as teachers we could do except watch the situation. Well, one night it imploded. Mom had had enough, and she managed to get all of the kids, all three kids, out of the house and sent them to a neighbor's, which wasn't real close. And she said, "Don't stop till you get there and call the police." Well, the new boyfriend really wasn't happy with this idea. And there was a standoff. Oh my goodness. How do you think that ended? Murder suicide. He killed her as she was trying to get out the front door. And he eventually shot himself, but not until after he took pot shots at the police officers. The children escaped unharmed. The girl was in junior high, 7th or 8th grade. The boys were younger, maybe 5th and 3rd. Maybe 4th and 2nd. I don't remember the details. They were cute kids. They were smart kids. And aunt took them in and they moved away, so we didn't see them again. I did understand that the young lady came back for her 8th grade dance. She was invited back by the teachers. So her classmates did see her again. Now, whether they kept in touch with her after that, I have no idea. I always wonder what happened to them and how they are doing today. I believe There's probably a lot of PTSD there because I don't think their home life was a happy one. Now, it may well have been after the aunt took them in, but prior to that, I don't think it was a real happy one. They tended to be quiet children. So, yeah, there's a real life one. Give these kids a history. Create names for them and give them a future. Um, there are so many things out there happening today that I am appalled by what we've become as a society who doesn't care. Who really doesn't care. I moved to rural America for a reason. I don't like crowds. I am not and never have been a city girl. I like the peace and quiet. Yeah, occasionally I hear the hospital helicopter or a jet plane, but not often, not enough to disturb the peace. I live in the foothills, which means we have rolling hills, we have cattle. There are horses right across the street from me. Up from them, the guy rents his field out, and the cattle are there. Um, they hay across the street, across the main road. As I drive into Somerset to pick up the um, Cumberland Parkway, Highway 80, to go east into Somerset, I pass by several farms. There's even a new sheep farm down the road a couple miles. A lot of farms, a lot of cattle, not dairy cows. Um, I haven't seen any dairy cows. Um, I've seen steer, I've seen bulls, I've seen heifers, I've seen um, Angus. I mean, we're talking uh, beef cattle, not dairy cattle. Okay, there's a difference. The sheep farm is new and it's the first of its kind in the area since I moved here. There's a huge farm. It starts maybe 3 miles down the road, and there are acres and acres and acres and acres and acres. And it's Rose something farm. And then I cross the next road, the next main highway, and I keep going, and all of a sudden, there are acres and acres and acres of this same farm. And it's huge. And in Kentucky, a lot of places have their own burial grounds right on the property. So in this middle of this huge farm is a spot that's fenced off, and you can see all the crosses and tombstones from the road. I'm not sure how you'd get back to it. Um, there are a lot of little cemeteries around. There's one just maybe a mile, half mile this way and a half mile up the road. Um, just little community, and the people around them, the people who have family buried there, take care of them. The grass is mowed. There are flowers out. Um, I saw a couple in there washing tombstones. So yeah, I can write about rural America because I live here. I know how rural America works. But rural America in Michigan, where I grew up, and rural America in Kentucky are different. Imagine that. Rural America can be different. It's not the same old, same old. No, there aren't big manufacturing places. Yeah, we have Toyota um, going east out of Somerset. There's a big Toyota plant, probably the biggest manufacturer around here. There's a place that does wood floors, you know, cuts them and gets them ready. Yep, we have one of those. Waste Connections is the trash collector for the county. Um, I don't think they treat their people well because they can't keep help. And it's an ongoing problem, and their service is sketchy. Random would be more like it. Um, Southern Kentucky Rural Electric Company Cooperative um, is another large employer. And yes, I belong to a cooperative. So yeah, eventually I will get dividends from it. Not a big deal. Um, not a lot of manufacturing going on. Building and construction, those are good trades. There's a lot of that going on. Road work. Oh yeah, we get those little yellow cones too. But the road work here doesn't seem to take as long. I've noticed that they get to a job and they do the job and then it's done. And it doesn't take them months and months. It's probably been since July that they've been working on westbound 80 out of Somerset. They added a left turn spot for the new Kia dealership, car dealerships. We have a ton of those. Yeah, ton of car dealerships. We have a mall. We have some restaurants. Some. We have pizza places. Oh my gosh, we have pizza places. A couple of barbecues. We've lost some restaurants and other businesses due to COVID and lack of employees, which is not a good thing. But look around you guys. What kind of stories can you tell? Now, if you're going to tell a story about a city, take Detroit, for example, you need to know what streets are what in Detroit. Because if you start ripping off streets that don't exist, your book's going to fly itself right into a trash bin. And you are going to get negative, negative, negative publicity and reviews. You don't want that. You don't want that. If you are writing about a fictitious place, you get to name the streets and what's on the street corners. Gas stations, bars, restaurants, maybe there's a strip mall. It You get to name those. You don't get to name those or change the locations of places that actually exist. That doesn't work in your writing. So, if you are writing about someplace, go there, visit someplace, and find out where the roads are and what roads go all the way through. I'll give you an example. I went down to Kiowa Island last winter for about 7 days. And I had lived on John's Island for 3 years. I had spent two winters, 3.5 months on Kiowa before I ever moved down there. And I'm heading home from someplace. And I get to a spot and there's a police car blocking the road. And he's motioning me to go that way. How the heck am I going to get to Kiowa? This isn't going to work for me. And I start driving down the street. The road is plow ground off Bohicket. I'd been on Bohicket. I got rerouted to plow ground, and I'm going, how am I going to get back to Kiowa? This is crazy. And it dawned on me, my friend Carl lived on plow ground. So I pulled into his driveway and drove back, hoping he was home and not busy. And it was good to see him and his little dog, Otto. And I said, I've gone brain dead. I need your help. Sure, how can I help? I said, got to the corner of plow ground and Bohicket, and the cop told me I had to come down plow ground. And I'm thinking, how am I going to get back to Kiowa? Because all of a sudden, it's like I'm lost. Carl says, go down and take River Road. And I'm going, I know this. And he said, yeah, I know you do. I've come to Carl's from both directions, from Bohicket and from River Road. Because when I first moved to John's Island, I lived just off River Road. So I would come up River Road to plow ground instead of Bohicket to plow ground. Really? But I did. It threw me off because the police officer had the road blocked that I couldn't get through. So we chatted a while and then I went on my merry way. And I get down and I go up River Road, and sure enough, we have to slow down because there's been an accident. Well, I know there was an accident on Bohicket. I watched the helicopter carry someone away from it. It was between River Road and Plow Ground because River Road comes around. There was an accident, and it was a bad one. I come out on River Road and what is now Betsy Carrison and Bohicket. The road changes names there. And I can turn left and go right on out to Kiowa. Really? Totally blew my mind like I didn't know where I was anymore. And yet, the minute Carl said, go to Plow Ground and take River, I knew exactly where I was going and exactly where I would wind up. So, know your streets, guys. On the corner of River Road and Maybank, there's a Food Lion. I lived a quarter of a mile down the street from the Food Lion. Seriously? And even when I moved into my house, I would come out of the subdivision and take Brownwood going towards Charleston to River Road, and River Road on up to Food Lion to shop. I could have gone right off the out of the subdivision on Brownwood and hit Bohicket, and in a half mile been at the local Piggly Wiggly, although it's something else now. And I can't remember what. I didn't shop there. On the rare occasion that I might need one item and I happen to be at that little mall there, I would go in and grab the one item. But for the most part, I didn't shop there. So, you have a writing prompt. You're going to finish the story about the woman standing on the edge of the cliff with the wind blowing her hair madly around her face and the waves crashing on the rocks below. It's up to you to come up with why she's standing there or what's going on with her. You finish the story. Make it your own. Make it a happy ending. Make it a sad ending. Make it a memory. You do what will make it a story. And have fun with it. Try several different ways to write it. First person, third person, different points of view. Maybe you're someone who sees this woman and you're the main character. What are you gonna do? You all have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back here with episode 28. Can you imagine 28 of these on Monday? Bye now.